War has shaped human history, defined empires, and changed borders. But some wars have left behind an almost unthinkable cost: tens of millions of lives lost. In this video, we're counting down the top 10 deadliest wars in human history based on estimated death tolls. Some are well known, others may surprise you. Let's dive deeper into the deadliest chapters in history. Number 10, the Russian Civil War, 1917 to 1922. Estimated deaths, 7 to 12 million. The Russian Civil War broke out following the Russian Revolution and the collapse of the Russian Empire. It pitted the Bolsheviks, who supported a communist regime, against the anti-Bolshevik, a coalition of monarchists, nationalists, and foreign allies. The war was chaotic and brutal. Beyond combat deaths, millions died from famine, disease, and state-sanctioned executions. Entire regions suffered from political purges and scorched earth tactics. It ended with a Bolshevik victory and the creation of the Soviet Union. Number 9, the Napoleonic Wars, 1803 to 1815. Estimated deaths, 3.5 to 7 million. These wars followed the French Revolution and were driven by Napoleon Bonaparte's ambition to expand French influence across Europe. The wars were fought across multiple continents, involving almost every European power, with alliances constantly shifting. Major battles like Leipzig, Borodino, and Waterloo became symbols of heroic resistance and devastation. The wars drained national treasuries, collapsed empires, and left tens of thousands dead in single-day battles. Civilians also suffered immensely from occupation, looting, and famine. Number 8, the 30 Years' War, 1618 to 1648. Estimated deaths, 4.5 to 8 million. One of Europe's most destructive wars, it began as a religious conflict within the Holy Roman Empire, but escalated into a political battle involving Spain, France, Sweden, and others. Many areas, especially in Germany, were reduced to ruin. Entire villages were wiped out, and some regions lost up to 60% of their populations. Starvation and disease were rampant due to scorched earth tactics and poor sanitation. The war concluded with the Peace of Westphalia, which introduced modern principles of national sovereignty. Number 7, the Taiping Rebellion, 1850 to 1864. Estimated deaths, 20 to 30 million. This Chinese civil war was led by Hong Xiuquan, a self-proclaimed divine prophet who believed he was the brother of Jesus. He inspired millions to join a new religious movement that sought to overthrow the Qing dynasty. The rebellion seized large parts of southern China, creating a parallel state with its own capital and military. Battles were fought with medieval brutality, and both sides committed atrocities. Civilians died en masse due to massacres, famine, and widespread displacement. Number 6, World War I, 1914 to 1918. Estimated deaths, 15 to 20 million. Sparked by the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the war drew in all the world's major powers, grouped into the Allies and the Central Powers. The Western Front saw horrifying trench warfare, where millions died for minimal territorial gains. New technologies like machine guns, poison gas, tanks, and airplanes made the war mechanized and impersonal. Millions more perished from disease, starvation, and genocide, including the Armenian genocide carried out by the Ottoman Empire. The war ended with the Treaty of Versailles, which laid the groundwork for World War II. Number 5, the Second Sino-Japanese War, 1937 to 1945. Estimated deaths, 20 to 25 millions. This war began with Japan's invasion of China and escalated into widespread slaughter. The Nanjing Massacre alone claimed over 200,000 lives in just weeks. Japanese forces used biological and chemical weapons against civilians, burned villages, and executed entire communities. This war later merged with the wider conflict of World War II, becoming one of its most horrific theaters. China's resistance was long and bloody, supported in part by the US and other allied powers. Number 4. The An Lushan Rebellion, 755 to 763 AD. Estimated deaths, 13 to 36 million. Named after the general who led it, this rebellion nearly destroyed China's Tang dynasty. At its peak, An Lushan's forces captured the capital, forcing the emperor to flee. The rebellion led to mass killings, famine, and disease as loyalist forces fought back. China's population reportedly dropped by a third. Some historians believe this war changed the course of Chinese civilization forever. Number 3. Qing conquest of the Ming Dynasty, 1616 to 1683. Estimated deaths, 25 to 30 millions. This conflict between the declining Ming Dynasty and the rising Qing Dynasty was marked by a series of brutal campaigns. As the Manchu-led Qing pushed south, cities that resisted were subjected to total destruction. Mass suicides, forced relocations, and famine were common. The transition of power lasted decades, permanently reshaping Chinese history and demography. Number 2. World War II, 1939 to 1945. Estimated deaths, 70 to 85 millions. World War II was the most destructive conflict in human history. It included genocides, global bombings, and the use of atomic weapons. Entire cities, like Dresden, Hiroshima, and Nagasaki, were flattened. The Holocaust claimed the lives of over 6 million Jews and millions more in other targeted groups. By the end of the war, the world was irrevocably changed, politically, economically, and morally. Number 1. The Mongol conquests, 1206 to 1368. Estimated deaths, 40 to 70 million. The Mongol Empire, under Genghis Khan and his successors, expanded rapidly across Eurasia. They used psychological warfare, fear, and ruthless efficiency. Cities that resisted were often annihilated, and their inhabitants massacred. Trade routes like the Silk Road flourished under Mongol rule, but the death toll from conquest was immense. Entire civilizations vanished, and their legacy remains deeply controversial to this day. War is as old as civilization itself, and these conflicts show just how devastating it can become. Each war on this list reshaped nations, cultures, and the human population. Let us know in the comments which one surprised you the most, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful history videos.